Brought to you in part by Logitech G, Pay Safeguard, TheScoreEsports.com, G2A, NVIDIA, and ESEA.
Welcome back, everyone, to ESL Pro League. Last doubleheader of the evening is about to begin right now. It's going to be OpTic versus CLG. But very quickly, before we get into that, The Score Esports is going to be a place where you can find all the information on our schedule, all statistics on the matches, and even articles that they write periodically. You can get that through the Google Play or the App Store for any of your mobile devices. So check that out. If you want to know the schedule, we have winding down the season with matches tomorrow and also on Tuesday. But now, another matchup that's very important, just as we saw for Renegades and Luminosity, now OpTic Gaming as well. They've had the benefit of a couple forfeits from Luminosity earlier in the season, so they're at 12-6, tied with, I think, 3 or 4 other teams right in that area. So, I mean, everything is valuable to these guys.
Absolutely. And for OpTic, of course, this match means a lot to them, but CLG, this essentially is a match where the result has no impact on them. They should be safe to not be in that last place position in Pro League. But the one thing they're really fighting for is just a higher prize place essentially here. So it's up to them to decide, do they really want to stop OpTic from getting up to a higher amount of wins, which could potentially get them a land spot, or are they just going to let this one swing by the wayside? Or, I mean, you mentioned it, the higher prize money, maybe the money means that much to them. But still, why not play spoiler? Why not have a little bit of fun at the end of the season and ruin the hopes and dreams? Because ruining hopes and dreams is always fun stuff to do. We are going to be live into the 9th round.
You must be a very charitable individual, Moses.
I was thinking more of Anders. I do everything in my power to ruin his experiences of fun.
All right. We are live in the 9th round, guys. OpTic Gaming, the team that needs to take these two. They have a few more matches left to be played as of yet here in this season of Pro League, the online division, of course, and they're going to win the 9th round. So, getting off to a good start, they'll be able to jump onto the CT side first. But this is Train, and this is a map where OpTic's T side is horrendous. Just looking at its record in the past, like I'm not even gonna undershoot it. I think they have like a 13% T side win rate or something like that.
Okay then. Well. That will be, actually this is going to be, I'm actually pretty excited for this just because I have not seen Mixwell play yet.
I have not yet either.
So that will be fun. Obviously from Spain, I believe, isn't he? Yes, from Spain. So the newest edition, when Shazam left, he is brought in. I know they've played in some other leagues. I haven't been able to catch some of those streams just yet of him playing. So this will be my first look. Hopefully it's some of your guys' first look at him as well. We get to have a shared experience. It'll be a lot of fun.
Yeah. Definitely.
You're a big help.
I don't.
You're a big help. But okay, so an awful T side for OpTic Gaming. That's, I mean, obviously on this map, you see all the strongest teams on Train can have an effective T side, and if you don't have that, if you're just a one-sided team, they mentioned that as well, actually, because this is the map they qualified for E-League on in the Road to Vegas, and they mentioned going into that after they'd won that match, they didn't realize how they'd done it because they'd never put work in on Train, and they said we knew our T side was going to be awful. We just relied on the CT side, and that's what they wanted on. Can they count on that here against CLG? Because we've seen a couple different iterations of CLG, even over just this past week. We've seen the one who came out flat and got stomped by Splice, and we saw one of the teams the night before that where they looked like the CLG that we'd seen them develop into at the major, per se, like being able to compete against some international competition. So which one are we going to get tonight?
I think the biggest issue for OpTic, if you just take a look at their T side, is it's so one-dimensional and so easy to read that even just the smallest amounts of aggression can move out and just spot these plays. And OpTic really only has like 2 or 3 types of strats they try to run this with. They don't really do all that much beyond that. Some slight variations on it here and there, of course, but those things are very easy to catch as a CT-sided team. And if CLG gets a read on that early on and starts to shut that down, it's not like OpTic can really innovate on it because they don't really have a very large playbook on this T side.
Well, and also, I mean, Shazam being gone is a big portion on this map. Some of the picks you can find, some of the easiest picks you can find are with that AWP, whether it's out towards Ivy, whether it's peeking down into mid, taking an aggressive battle in the choke points. Something like that with an op is one way that can always bail you out if you have a strong upper. So is Mixwell going to be up to the task?
Yeah. The big question for CLG, though, like you mentioned before, which ones are going to show up and which individuals are also going to show up. Tarek is one that comes to mind immediately when you look at things like that. Tarek, there's like 3 different versions of him that show up. One, you barely notice him in the match because he's just doing his job, nothing else. One where he, is like an all-star and is picking up these crazy rounds. And the other one where he barely helps out at all
And unfortunately, he's sitting near the bottom of the scoreboard.
I will say that the Tarek that we saw in Malmo, even though they didn't make it to groups in the major, has been a much improved Tarek from what we've seen in the past. And if that one shows up, then they're going to be a scary team. But obviously, the big names are Tarek, and then also JDM is the next one you'd expect. Another opper on train that can have a massive impact. And even Tarek, if they decide to go a double op setup, he's the one that normally gets that secondary AWP. That is... See, I would always want to play spoiler. As a player, I always wanted to play spoiler.
Just ruin the dreams.
Well, if you can't be in the playoffs, I mean, it's just...
You might as well keep some others from having fun.
Yeah. And, I mean, CLG, this is the other thing, too, is these guys have been gaining momentum and improving and getting better, and you don't want to approach a match saying, okay, well, we can't make the playoffs in this event, so let's not play our best. You always want to be playing the best you have. You can essentially, I mean, use this as practice for some other leagues, perhaps, even getting into other events, preparing for, they have DreamHack Austin coming up, so no reason to take a night off by just saying these are meaningless matches in terms of standings of where we can go. And I highly doubt the CLG guys do that. It's just, are they going to be focused enough to overcome OpTic?
No, yeah, definitely. I think that they'll take this match pretty seriously. And with
Do
it being
you think CLG's going to take it?
I think they could take Train. I actually...
Oh, you think they're going to take it seriously? Okay.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, obviously going to take it seriously.
Yeah, I mean, when looking at it on Train, I think that there's a very real chance they can take this map. It all depends on how the first half goes, to be completely honest. If OpTic get a hot start and they're like 10-5 or 11-4, then very real possibility that OpTic will take the map. But if it's like a closer one or OpTic don't have the lead coming out of the first half, I honestly think CLG is just going to shut it down in the second half.
Yeah, that would be that could be the danger, as you said, with the T sides, OpTic's T side the way it is. I wonder if they've put time in this, because this is a roster that's been together for a pretty decent amount of time. You got to imagine this map pool is going to start getting deeper and deeper. So Train, it has to be at some point a map that they've looked into. Obviously, not vetoing it here for the Pro League matches. Hopefully they have something in store for that T side that's going to make it more optimistic than that 13% horrendous description you gave it.
Probably a little more than that, but when I it's probably closer to like 30%. But when I calculated a couple weeks ago, it was sitting at like 13%. I think I was doing it like out of 16 though, so I wasn't considering for like smaller halves. But yeah, still.
Well, that'll happen. But yeah, so OpTic now. Who are the teams they're tied with? They're tied with, I believe it's Liquid they're tied with?
They're tied with Liquid now. They're tied with Selfless. They're tied with Cloud9. Trying to think of who another one is.
That's the big thing too, because I mean you look at all these teams. Liquid just having this roster upheaval, Cloud9 having a new leader come in, an untested leader really at this level. So there's a lot of opportunities here for OpTic to just be able to take this match, take a couple matches at the end of the season, and make these playoffs. I mean, this would be a huge ball for them to drop right at the end, because even earlier on in the season, they've always been in this top four. They were always sitting right around second place through the standings throughout the season. So for them to lose it here would be a little bit soul-crushing. And you guys can see we did have Tarek drop out of the server. He's back in, and we do have freeze time dwindling down to get this pistol round started.
Yeah, so they are tied, by the way, with Selfless, Team Liquid, and Cloud9, currently sitting at the same record as 12-6. But this match, not going to necessarily be a fairly straightforward one since it's against CLG. We'll see how it goes, of course, as we are getting started now. The first half, OpTic on the CT side, and CLG jumping onto the T side. And not only this, but JDM is going to be able to find the first kill, as he's posted himself just outside of T spawn. OpTic trying to take a page out of Luminosity from that previous map we saw earlier with them getting aggressive back towards Ivy, but it's not going to pay off so well as they lose Stanislaw.
For nothing. They don't even get a single point of damage on it. Now, they do have a little bit of intel, but not too much. Actually, there's some nice damage on JDM. Down to 5 HP, and Mixwell's just going to get aggressive. Tarek is coming back to bail JDM out. Depending on the timing of this, Mixwell could get caught out and no cover, and Tarek is at least going to... Oh, wow. All right, then. What a shot. And now he's just going to be able to fall back, and JDM with only 5 HP still is just saying, I don't want to test this. What? And right through the smoke. He times it perfectly. The inner bomb site hit is on, though. 2 members here for OpTic, 3 members of CLG. Hayes is going to push up, and he gets caught out in the open. Nowhere for him to go. Nice peek from Naf and Daps.
So just Fugly and Cutler left alive, but very quickly OpTic is swarming to take full control of the bomb train area here. Cutler trying to wrap around. He gets a good flashbang out, finds 1 kill, but then Naf closes out onto both Fugly and Cutler. It's going to take it for OpTic Gaming, and they're going to be able to pick up the pistol round here on this CT side. Very well played by Mixwell, though, as he just dominates the outside.
Yeah, that was pretty sick stuff. Really nice flick over, and then timing it through the smoke to find JDM to finally finish him off. That was huge. And a 4-on-5, Mixwell comes up massive. So he even goes for the M4 this round. He has armor. No nades to use, but it looks like CLG is going to come into this round with very, very little investment. With the plant, they want to go for that third round buy. They want the AK-47s. So this round, more than likely, they're going to give up more aggression towards Ivy. Naf is going to be the one pushing out spots. Tarek far back, trying to bait him into Fugly, and Naf, he's going to jump around. He's going to check it. Opening kill goes to him. Tarek's now in a tough spot, but Naf is just going to fall back with that one kill and then re-aggress.
So already sort of the same problem as before here too, with CLG being brought down a couple players early on. OpTic just dominating the earlier playing field does not leave a lot for CLG to bounce back within these first couple of rounds. We're seeing that as a repeat, so we'll see if that happens in the gun rounds too. But this round, of course, nothing really interesting happening. Hayes is the last one alive. It's just OpTic going to shut it down. Not a whole lot that they could do, unfortunately, with the buy they had going for themselves there.
Or the lack of a buy, because this is the one they're really looking forward to. Armor comes out on the players. AK-47, smoke flash on Fugly and Cutler. Tarek drops down to a Galil just so he can have a couple flashbangs and a Molotov. And even JDM going for the AK-47. So fully invested into this round is CLG, trying to get on the board, trying to take advantage of the fact they're going up against 2 SMGs in the round on NAF and DAPS.
CLG just pushing very quickly through those white halls actually to get to the back of the B-bomb site. So Stanislaw is going to be essentially free to move inside of the ladder room there and maybe line up a flank a little bit later on. Fugly, you can see, is holding slower to watch out for this exact thing, and he might check down there. Nope, not going to be the case. We'll just move in with his teammates, but they can hear a lot of noise that CLG is throwing over towards this inner bomb site. And OpTic are ready to not only line up the flank too, but also rotate their players over to the B-bomb site to get ready for the sit and shut it down quickly before it can have any impact.
Yeah, Molotovs are clear out some position. Daps drops one of his own. He's completely blind though, but so is CLG, and Daps gets 2 kills out of that. Just strafing into the head of Hayes. And now Mixwell up top drops Cutler, stands on a quick flank. Can't beat out JDM though, but Rush, there's no way they expect him to come in. That's the dagger. OpTic is held strong, and CLG, they don't go for any kind of map control. They don't spread out. They all go towards the inner bomb site, and OpTic reads it very, very well. Now he's got Tarek boxed in and low HP, and he's finished off. So a third round for OpTic, not even very much gain from CLG. They only killed 2 members.
And they're going to start 3-0 here after the first gun round victory. CLG, not a whole lot that they can do to justify going for a buy once more here. Need to save up to be able to get the first real gun round going for themselves. One after this one, as that's it's going to be their starting, gambit here to see what they can work for it, but it doesn't pay off so well. And OpTic know they're going to be on a save as they go for 3 SMGs on this round, only keeping Rush and Mixwell on AKs and an M4.
Once again, CLG. There's Rush, and he gets 1 kill, but it's really the aggression out towards NAF, flanking out around towards T mid. He's going to have a big read on this. So they know it's coming to the inner bomb site. They have 2 very quick flanks set up, but it's Mixwell who's going to get the first opportunity. 1 kill. Does massive damage, but can't get any more, but no worries. Daps and Naf are there. Those are those 2 quick flanks. Even one was ready to come up ladder. So Tarek, they somehow snuck right by him. He was in T mid. Didn't hear them running, didn't hear it coming. And again, OpTic is going to get out of this, and it looks like no one is going to fall. And indeed, OpTic gets away with all 5 members surviving, and more kills on the SMGs to build up more money.
Total of 5 damage done that entire round by CLG, only getting 5 HP off of NAF. Beyond that, it's a flawless shutdown. Good for OpTic here to build up economy early on, which is what we saw, and this is what led to Luminosity having such a strong first half. Is that the guys over on the Renegades could just never really break their money on the CT side, and they just constantly rebought, even when we finally saw a round or 2 being picked up by the guys in the Renegades. It was just such a strong victory. CLG need to try and make some impact here, otherwise OpTic may become an unstoppable force in this first half.
Yeah, and you talked about very one-dimensional. If that one dimension has massive amounts of success, then all of a sudden a lot of pressure is taken off. Good opening kill from Stan, being aggressive. Now they can kind of swing behind, but Cutler is going to find him. Now it's Rush's turn. Can he get Fugly? He does. JDM still not able to get anything done inside the smoke, and it's just Daps pushing forward the inner bomb site. A quick flank, and JDM's not ready for it, so CLG's been stopped. They know there's at least one in hell. The question is Tarek at this range. Can he hit some of his signature shots? There's a good find. Rush was low. He tries to transfer over towards the ladder room members, but Daps has the ult. And OpTic just has too many angles and shuts him down.
And again, another round where they keep alive 3 out of 5 of their players, so not a whole lot of losses. We're only going to be looking at 2 rebuys coming into this round. Op is saved. Not even any big guns getting dropped here. And again, they know that CLG more than likely are going to be on an eco this time. So Naf going for the SMG, or has one, but he actually ends up trading that out to an M4. So it'll be a full rifle buy. But as they were suspecting, CLG not going to be able to justify their own force up here, since they not only can they like not pick up rounds, but also another issue here that we're starting to see for CLG is they can't even get really any plants. We've barely seen any as of yet, so they're not really getting a whole lot of bonus money at the end of these rounds.
Yeah, this is going to get pretty brutal for CLG very, very quickly. They now have a lot of money they have to burn through on OpTic's side before they're going to have any kind of reprieve. At least the Deagles in this round need to do some damage, need to get some of those kills. Mixwell just rotating into the inner bomb site, and he finds Cutler. He's prepared for that. It's going to be a hit down the lower ramp. Hayes is the first one. No one's even really close to him. He's very, very much alone, and Daps finds that battle. Does good damage. Second member coming in. Tarek trying to get the trade off, but the off is covering Daps. He does eventually fall, but they still have to make it into the bomb site. It's essentially running the gauntlet. JDM gets leg. Nade's going to come out. Still no chance of a plant, though, and it's all down to just this. Not a whole lot of damage done. In fact, barely any. Only Daps falls. Outside of that, no one else was even close on the OpTic side. So CLG now, another buy coming out up in JDM's hands, but they've got to start getting something done.
And CLG back up, as you mentioned before, into the buy, but OpTic just continue to shut things down, and very little progress at all being made by CLG earlier on in the round with just finding any kills, and upon entry, it becomes a brutal attempt to get themselves onto the site to even forward a plant. Most of the time, still not even finding that. Very lackluster T-side so far from CLG. They are going to try to line up a default A hit this time around, but OpTic are very aggressive to try and stop something just like this. The only area where they don't really have a whole lot of players watching for it as of yet would be towards T-connector, but Rush is in a position where he can very easily stop pressure coming out from that angle too. So they're posted up to stop something exactly like this, and in the event they do attempt to go for this default, it could be a rough one if they don't find entries like they've had trouble doing in the past 6 rounds.
So over towards Ivy, that's where CLG wants to put a little bit of pressure. Nades come out. Nap's dealt a little bit of damage, but nothing too worse. Down to about 55. Mixwell is going to be aggressively peeking at it. He's got to be careful. Doesn't want to get picked off. ADM eats a little bit of nade damage as well. But CLG still just spreading out, trying to rely and try and hope that someone from OpTic is going to peek for information and get picked off by JDM, but no one from OpTic is even thinking of that. They've all rotated away from Ivy. No one's even close to it anymore. So they're much more centralized on the map for quick rotations, and here's some of that aggression. Popping up ladder, good damage done to Cutler, and he's got to just be so confused why that just happened to him.
As he pops back down, of course. Just going to be happy finding the intel that he did find. The molly goes down on ramp, stops CLG from pushing out for a little bit, and OpTic actually biting pretty hard on that too. Looked like Mixo was going to rotate in for a second, but they call it off. They're actually going to be in an okay position now to stop it as they push down ladder room. Hayes is going to try to line up a flank, but Rush just decimated that ladder room push, took down both Cutler and Tarek, and he's got control of the bomb too. So the final 3 are going to attempt to close in. Hayes catches that kill onto Daps, but Rush still responding and stops the T-con push as well.
I think Daps actually shot at the flashbang when he saw it and just kind of freaked out. Good kill from Fugly. He's got 2 more to find, but only 1 second left on the clock. So he's going to give up the round, and he's going to save that weapon, but CLG still don't have any success into this half. 0 rounds for them, going up against the 7 that OpTic has built up. Speaking of built up, Mixwell had 16K before buying nades in this round, so a lot of money still for CLG to burn through, not a lot of success happening. That round's essentially over at the point of first contact when Rush gets those 2 kills. Even though Hayes does have some success lurking towards the inner bomb site, he's lost too many teammates for it to be effective whatsoever. Now they switch things up into a much faster pace. It's hazed out early, 2 Molotovs come in, so a little bit of miscommunication for OpTic, but at least slow things down.
And it's good too, as it looked like CLG wanted to go for the quick takeout, so now they're going to have to hold back for a little bit longer. I think we'll get time to prepare. Rush and Tarek finding the first 2 kills, so a 1-for-1 trade to start us off. And Stanislaw now getting aggressive to try and load up a flank on some of these guys, but he's found out by Cutler. Mixwell under pressure though, but still able to pick up some kills. And he's going to be moving through this smoke, looking to catch JDM, but he gets the better of him this time around. And it looks like OpTic are finally going to meet their match. Still an attempt from Naf to clutch it out in the 1v3, but his odds are very low.
Yeah, Mixwell's got to be careful. That's way too aggressive of a play through this smoke. It might be just a little bit of confidence born from a 7-0 lead, but they've given 1 up. And this money, if he's going to keep investing in ops like he is, and now they have 5 rebuys, all of a sudden their money does not look very solid anymore whatsoever. 31,000 invested into this round for the OpTic side. Still have enough for next round to buy if they do happen to lose this, but after that, it's going to start getting into a scary situation where CLG could close this gap very much. And as you said, one-dimensional team on the CT side. Don't want to give up too much here when they have such a big lead.
Stanislaw aggressive, back over here towards the ladder room once more. to be able to catch some more of those nades and whatnot being tossed down from CLG, but this is pretty typical for them to put some pressure back over on top of ladder room and even toy around with the back of the B halls. Most teams, in all honesty, we've been seeing them do this, as they've had a couple matches on train over the past couple of days that's become pretty typical. But beyond this, it looks like CLG, once more, just trying to place pressure to the default angles for an outer hit, but 3 stacked over towards B could switch that hit up pretty quickly.
Yeah, and I mean, this is kind of what we've seen out of OpTic throughout this half. Aggression on the CT side. They've had a lot of quick flanks. This time, a double nade and peek in the mid choke point. They see absolutely nothing, so intel being gained. The question is, what does NAF see anyone towards Ivy? That's kind of the big distraction, because the bomb and 2 members of CLG are towards inner. There's some flashes over. JDM's got a perch. Daps on top of the train, though. He's going to see that. That's going to be a free kill. Not good enough from CLG to open up that round.
Gives away a player, and now leaves once again. OpTic Gaming with the advantage, as 2 of their guys are going to start that Ivy push, but even that's not going to go so well. Stanislaw caught it, took down Tarek. We've even got a flank coming in too, as Fugly is slowly going to be surrounded outside of this Ivy tunnel. Rush has found Cutler in the meantime, back over closer to the B-bomb site, and the last man left alive is going to be Hayes. He manages to escape with 1 pickup, but at the end of the day, shouldn't really matter all that much.
That's a little bit scary from CLG, because I have no idea what the end game of that tactic was. It was essentially just players getting dropped 1 by 1. Starting with JDM towards the inner bomb site, and there just didn't seem to be any kind of key to success in that round except hitting a very nice shot. So back onto just pistols. Cutler invests a little bit, drops some weapons over, has a smoke, has a deagle. Actually, they all kind of upgrade their weapons except for JDM, who wants to get back on that op, but OpTic again, they lost a little bit of money, a little bit of ground, but they've gained it right back, and now they have a chance to keep growing the lead.
He's spotting some of that pressure early on, or some of that positioning early on from OpTic, but again, not really going to be able to do anything with that as Mixwell grabs the first kill. Keep in mind, he's here, he's fully committed supporting this, and he just killed the upper hit. Now the ramp hit's going to be rolling in, but they've got a molly to stop a lot of that pressure. Mixwell swiping the kill away from Daps. He finds another one. Finally, he gets taken down from Tarek, but that's it. Look at OpTic just shutting down these hits round after round. That time, CLG only find 1 kill once again.
Yeah, CLG looking very one-dimensional at the moment as well. No real success on this T side. 1 round for them so far. This is another big buy. JDM has the op, but it's been all OpTic. 9-1. 5 rounds left in the half for CLG to get anything going. They've got to start feeling a little bit worried. This time for OpTic, 1 member towards the inner bomb site, and that's going to be Daps, and he's getting a little bit aggressive, or at least just peeking up towards A ramp. It looked like he was going to push a little bit farther, but he was forced back. Heard the presence of Hayes coming, so he falls away. NAF, meanwhile, gaining more info over towards Ivy. This is CLG that has 2 Tech 9s in this buy, so a little bit lighter on the firepower they're bringing into it.
And it's a lineup for a default A hit again, with the option to change it over to an inner hit if need be. But Tarek will start things off more than likely from inside of T connector. The Ivy player, Fugly's pushing up, but I don't think he knows that NAF is around the corner. Unfortunately, NAF actually messes up that spray on the initial gambit of it, so Fugly's going to be able to take him down. And it'll be CLG that start with an advantage. Not only does he get that kill, but he also gets a free upgrade to an M4. Giving them a little bit more firepower to work with, as it looks like CLG are trying something a little bit slower this time, hoping it works out.
1 kill could help them out, but still the response. Stan is playing close to ladder room. Also, Rush is there as well, so if this is a heavy hit towards the inner bomb site for CLG, they're going to be quick flanks coming out. Some pressure towards the outer bomb site, though. The bomb is here as well. Hayes, 2nd kill on the Mixwell for the CLG side. Now Daps has got to make something work, but the timing is not in his favor. He's going to come right back through the smoke and find a free kill on a Fugly. But Stan, he was in perfect position to hear all this, but he's rotated away. They've got to come back towards the center bomb site. Hayes is so far advanced, though. This is a tough position to clear out, and he's going to get at least 1 free kill. Almost messes it up. There's a 2nd one behind him. He doesn't see him. Now Cutler's taking all that confusion, gives him the opportunity to push up as well.
And look at Daps' position. Nobody's even noticed that he's sitting up on upper right now, so he's going to be able to sneak his way all the way down. They are prepped for the flank that's coming in from Stanislaw, but Daps is such a huge advantage, and there we go. He's going to grab Cutler for free, so that takes him down. Could even push into the back of B now if he wants to support the flank a little bit, but no, they don't realize that Stanislaw's wrapping all the way around. JDM does catch the trade after Stanislaw finds his first kill on a Tarek, but Daps, he's going to have to get aggressive and look for it jumping in, and oh no, JDM completely whiffs the shot, so Daps is going to clutch things out for OpTic, and they'll take yet another round up to their 10th.
And we talked about which CLG was going to show up tonight. This is a very unfocused version where they lose control of that round somehow. Daps makes that big play. No one spots him out. No one sees him. Both members of CLG that are playing in those box halls are all peering towards lower ramp and towards the flank. No one is even spotting towards upper ramp. So miraculous comeback in that round from OpTic. Despite losing that inner bomb site very early on and having such advanced positions between Cutler and Hayes, they still managed to lose that. So back onto pistols. They are upgraded, but OpTic's about to run away with this half completely.
And Hayes moves first into the back of the B-bomb site, but all of his teammates are following suit pretty quickly. Smoke goes into the ramp. It's not going to stop him from making the push. This time, though, Daps actually not going to be able to get a kill whatsoever. They take him down without any conflict, so CLG get very fast control of the inside bomb site. Unfortunately, Hayes is flashed and is not able to get himself down from the train. Cutler picking up another kill, but Rush responds with 2 of his own. Takes out JDM at Cutler, Fugly and Tarek, the final 2 left alive. Only with pistols, the man advantage also going into the favor of the guys on OpTic here too, and Fugly slowly being just forced out of his own position there with the Molly and HE grenade. One more to go here. It's going to be Tarek trying to tap his way through this one and keep them held back for as long as humanly possible, but it's not going to be very long whatsoever. Rush finishes it off, and there we go. OpTic up to 11. This is what we needed to see from OpTic in order for them to claim this map, and if this goes any further, then CLG are going to be mincemeat in that second half.
Minced meat. Exactly what you don't want to be. Mixwell having a good game. 14-3 for him. Daps as well as at 14-5. We saw him make a big play on that retake towards the inner bomb site. So both those players have definitely shown up tonight. Rush as well, 11-5. No one really sticking out for the CLG side, which isn't too surprising. Only 1 round has been gained by them in this Terrace half. Now, it seems like they're a little bit stumped tactically, so they call the always fun inner bomb site rush. They do slow down right at the end, but Daps has heard the pressure, he's heard the footsteps, and he's called back Mixwell, who we just mentioned is having a fantastic game. And if he can get so many angles he can use, off angles towards this upper ramp that are going to be very, very tough for CLG to clear him out of. And Daps on top of this first train. Molotovs are going to come out. And he's got a nade in his hand, and now he's completely blind. So this is a tough spot. Mixwell gets the first kill, though, and that buys Daps enough time to recover.
Molly, I think, was a little bit over to the side, too. I think it wanted to block Daps from going up on top of the train, so they weren't even checking for him there. He manages to grab at least 1 kill, but JDM, there we go, trying to turn this round on its heels a little bit. Unfortunately, not enough, as Mixwell is going to be able to take him down. JDM's the last one alive. Not going to connect that shot there. Mixwell, though, getting a little bit timid, falls back, but now they know exactly where JDM's hiding out at. He doesn't even have control of the bomb at this point, so not a whole lot left for him to do. He's hoping someone gets aggressive. Back in towards that little bit of a hole he has past the smoke. But it's not going to be the case, and he's slowly been boxed in, so he's going to have to try to make a play here soon.
Yeah, pop flashing himself down lower ramp. Got to at least try and get the bomb, but Rush, that vertical angle is so tough to deal with coming down that ramp. And Rush ends it, swaps out for an AK-47. 12-1. CLG, we still haven't seen a pause out of them either. And we mentioned this, I believe, last time we saw them play. This could be a product of the fact that ever since December, when they brought in Pita as a coach, he has been the in-game leader from the coaching position for them. And he is currently, as far as as of last week, he was not there quite yet. He was doing some visa things back in Sweden, trying to get that all situated for when he comes back to the CLG house. But he's still not there. This might be why we're seeing a little bit more of a disconnect on this T side.
So CLG now just trying to do whatever they can, and it's back to the default setup on A. In the past 2 or 3 rounds, it was an attempt to just push all in on the B-bomb site. And they've already tried to use this strategy too a couple times, but like we said, somewhat like I'm expecting on OpTic side, but in all reality, if they end up with 13 or 14 rounds here, it's probably going to be a very little consequence. We're just seeing the same types of things over and over again from CLG, and there's not a lot of variation to it, which could give them success. OpTic are able to easily read this once they kill the first or second player and adjust appropriately. So without CLG really changing up any of the game plans here, or just trying to throw fakes or really anything like that at all, OpTic are fairly easily shutting these rounds down just by being able to read the plays.
Plays themselves haven't been that creative. Fugly going to try and apply a little bit of pressure. Daps sees another one go towards the lower ramp, so he's calling the rotate over. He sees all of them, and he's still alive at upper. Fugly is cleared out, and Daps, I mean, he's going to destroy this round. That's going to delay so long. Molotov's going to come out as well. Now he's got an easy shot. He still has his knife out. Is there no communication that's where Daps was? Either way, good position from Cutler, but Daps is still just being a monster. 3 kills for him. Cutler has 2 to deal with. Mixwell with the AWP, and Daps up top, who gets a 4 kill to complete it. Never cleared out of that perch. And he shuts down CLG essentially single-handedly.
So OpTic Gaming solidifying their lead absolutely here as we head into the final round of the first half. CLG are going to be forcing up. They were able to get AKs for most of their players here, and I think everybody actually is going to be able to grab one. Unfortunately, the byproduct of that is that, well, no one's going to have utility. Cutler's the only player that can even afford grenades, and it's only going to be a smoke and a flashbang. So this is to be a very straightforward play, or hope that they can get some raw fragging power on their entries. They're splitting up. It's probably going to be a combined ladder room along with Ivy play, and to hold that back over towards Ivy is going to be Naf. He's got plenty of utility to toss in that direction. Number 7-man Hayes will be looking to make some noise closer to the B-bomb site, but it all depends on how well this attempt to entry back over here towards Ivy goes, and it goes all right, I guess. Naf finds a first kill, but JDM responds, although he takes a lot of damage from it. Down on the 3 HP as well as Rush comes in to assist.
Well, the real scary part for CLG, Hayes has got to do some work here. Dap's going to be ready for it. He wasn't, but he recovers nicely. Hayes still can't land this kill. He finally gets it. He's been brought down to 45. JDM's still alive at 3 HP. Fugly has plenty of health, but none of them are grouped up and they don't have control of the bomb at the moment. I believe that's right outside the ladder room. So Stan is going to be the one who just shuts down JDM. Oh, I almost got it for the CLG side. That would have been a huge kill, but Stan still has control of the bomb, and Hayes is going to clear this angle. There's no way Stan's able to get this one. The timing's not with him either. And there it is. 2 kills right at the end for Hayes and Fugly. They get their second round of the half, but it was all OpTic, and you can say whatever you want about their T side, but if they can't win this one out, then they might need to just start banning Train completely from that pool.
So 13-2. If you wanted an advantage against your T side, this is basically the best you're going to get, unless you had won that last round. So they win the pistol, and they don't get responded to on the second round. It's essentially all over from that point forward, as OpTic should be able to very easily close out the situation without even really having to use their entire strat book on the T side. Like I said, they only really have like 3 or 4 main strats, but, well, you know, only 3 rounds needed to win. So.
Well, and the way Mixwell is playing also with the op, and Daps as well is having a very good game. I mean, those guys have been the playmakers. We haven't seen anyone from CLG really make the plays that we're used to seeing them make. And when it's Mixwell and Daps doing that, you got to imagine on the T side, they're going to be able to at least have 1 round where they can get 2 to 3 kills and open things up for the team, even if they get bogged down at some point, which we do see happen on the T side of Train. So the big issue for CLG was that OpTic never had to worry really about saving. I think there was only 1 round where they were actually in danger of their economy being broken, but from there on out, they never had any problems.
And that build-up started so early on in the half, too. Literally like the same exact thing that happened at Luminosity when they just played Renegades about 2 hours ago. So, heading into the second half now, CLG down, not necessarily out in this map just as of yet, but they could very easily be knocked out, of course, if they lose this pistol, so they'll invest pretty heavily into it. Whereas OpTic Gaming have a very strong lead, and it's going to be pretty hard to crack it.
Tarek's going to get boosted up. There's Naf being aggressive out mid. Got to be careful. It's an angle that the USPs can win more often than not. Tarek's still boosted up. Some pressure being applied from the outer yard, and it's actually brought the attention of Cutler, but Fugly's over there to save him. A couple nice shots. He does get traded off, and there's Cutler with the peek. That's a nice one on to Stan. He's got 1 more to deal with, but he's getting shot at from multiple angles. You can't handle all that. Tarek's been brought down low. Rotation is on. JDM is here. He gets hit in the face, though. He's forced to be a little bit more passive. This defense from CLG, it's so weak right now. It's on a knife's edge, but Tarek's doing his best to hold it in their favor.
And OpTic is going to give up the take attempt on the outer yard. They're going to fall back and rotate way around towards T-spawn, either re-enter in through T-connector or just wrap all the way to the B-bomb site. They're going to start putting some players in the way of this one, as you can already see Tarek has pushed himself up on top of this one, and if he gets the flank, it's all over. He can hear it. He knows they're wrapping in, so you can see CLG very quickly rotating over, and Tarek can basically just single-handedly end this too, since nobody saw him inside of those locker rooms. And there we go. Hayes tapping away. He's pretty low down at 3 HP. But it's not going to matter as JDM finishes off Daps, and it's just on a Naf. Now, yeah, I was about to say, if we didn't see Tarek wrapping down there quickly enough to kill him before he planted the bomb, there was a chance he could just go crazy and pick up like 4 shots in a row to close out on all 3 of them. But thankfully, Tarek's there in time, and he does prevent the plan entirely.
How close is that pistol? 24 combined HP on the 3 surviving members of CLG. That could have gone so easily the other way. But either way, that's the win they needed. You mentioned they had to get that pistol round. If they lose that, it might be just too much for them to come back from. But either way, they have it. So they have their window of opportunity. It's 3-13. They still have a massive comeback to make, and they can't take too many losses on these second and third rounds. OpTic is not investing much into this. They didn't get the plant, but they have 5 P250s, smoke and flash to use. Maybe try and get a bomb plant here, and if they do that, they could decide to buy into the third round. but they can still afford to be very conservative with their money and have a very solid buy in the first gun round on the 4th round where they can have the AWP and Mixwell. They can have a couple different things in there going their way.
Only leaving Hazed here as well on the inner bomb site too, and he's in a pretty overexposed position. I'll have to drop down pretty quickly to bomb train, but even from there, with both a ramp take along with an upper push coming in, if he falls back to the left, it's going to be extremely overexposed. He finds the first kill, but there's that same problem. The other side comes in and overwhelms him. Mixwell's going to be able to take him down. Just like that, everybody from OpTic just goes in and takes full control of this site. Look at Mixwell's position. Tarek is going to be able to frag out, though. And it's Mixwell's turn to try and turn the tides. Picks up one, finds a second, has a gun on the ground, but not going to switch to it. Actually, he does. And that's going to be the ultimate death for him as Fugly takes him down. But that leaves Fugly out in the open, and we can see it. He got down to a 1v1 now, and Stanislaw, 32 HP, Tarek down at 17, but Tarek, he's pushing up. He doesn't realize that Stanislaw is slowly creeping up behind him at the moment, jumping onto the bomb, hasn't stuck to it, wraps back over, and Stanislaw probably going to check to his left. Tarek looking behind, but he doesn't spot that he's gone up towards ramp, but it doesn't matter. Tarek is the one that needs to get back onto this bomb site. He's giving up, so OpTic, they're going to clutch out the second round, and they're going to take control away from CLG.
Okay then, OpTic. No armor, and it does come down to that positioning by Hayes. You have to say it. That is a god-awful position to be in with no one to back you up. You could see just 1 second he misses the timing, and he can only get 1 kill before being swarmed. He had no knowledge of who was coming down the lower ramp or how close they were to him when he was able to get back into cover. And Mixwell with a play in the smoke towards connector, that's huge. And CLG, they win the pistol. We said they needed to, but they drop the next round, and that's heartbreaking.
That could essentially be it right there now, too. JDM is going to get aggressive, pushing up inside a ladder room. They force up, obviously, because they can't really afford to just take this next round without responding to it, as that'll put OpTic sitting up on match point. Now, OpTic absolutely have control, and they're in the driver's seat here. They're going to take it still a little bit slow, just in case of something like this happening. And JDM getting shot up around the corner. They probably didn't even see him there, just hoping to grab him, and they almost did. Bring him down to 7 HP. That's going to flush him out, and CLG have to hold further back in that A-bomb site.
Rush just dropping a pop flash towards the ladder, but not going to utilize it. Sometimes that sound cue, maybe it would, someone from CLG hears it, they believe someone will be in that ladder room just based off the pop flash. So maybe just trying to get a little creative with OpTic. They have a lot of time. 1 minute left on the clock. All 5 of them are going to be towards white halls and box halls. So they have no control. They have no presence towards the outer yard. But with the AK-47s, they can essentially just walk out upper ramp and have a huge advantage over Tarek. Although he has the M4, but that's gone. Rush finds him very quickly. Hayes is the next one on the Deagle. Does tag Daps once. Gets the headshot. Gets a second one. Brings it into a 3-on-3, but that might not be enough. Cutler on the rotate lands some damage, but he falls eventually as well. And JDM's still very low on HP, so he's essentially a non-factor in this round just because he can't take a single point of damage, and the Molotov is just going to hold it back.
It even pegs him, too.
Yeah, almost killed him.
So, falling back and away now, the final 2 players in CLG are going to be looking to save the 2 guns they have left in play. And the worst part, too, is I think with the money they have, they're probably going to be looking at a similar buy. They're still not really building anything up after just being reset there on that second round. So OpTic probably going to be able to claim map 1 here and continue their push forward to remain within grasp of the top 4 for the ESL Pro League finals.
Yeah, this is a very, very good put-together train match from OpTic right now. And CLG, that was the big question we had, was were they going to come out flat? Were they going to come out and challenge? And it appears they do not share my same feelings about ruining other people's hopes and dreams.
Clearly not.
Clearly not.
Clearly not. As they buy up 3 scouts. So this could be it here now, guys, as OpTic Gaming have easily a very large advantage. And I think this one, they're just going to go right out to it, too. They're not even going to waste any time with trying to hold back. Nav even sees a player, but decides to push forward. That's actually a bit of a mistake, since Cutler is going to be able to peg him down with some assistance from Tarek. 2 shots at once, essentially, force him away. In the meantime, speaking of being forced away, the Rush will find that kill onto Tarek, but Fugly still in the back, able to respond, and maybe actually a CLG victory still in the sights here now, as they have the 4v3 man advantage, and Daps is very low at 10 HP.
Yeah, what can Mixwell do? He's close up towards the bomb train, just trying to buy his time. Smoke comes out, one's above him, he can't turn. Not quick enough, JDM does take him down, so it's a 2-on-4. It's essentially a 1-on-4, with Rush the only one with HP. He's got to do some kind of aim mapping here, so CLG trading some rounds back and forth. But they are, it looks like, going to be able to get this. Although if he can, no, he's already tagged. That's not good. Can't take any more damage. One's above him as well. He's going to have no idea Fugly's coming this way. That's going to be an easy kill. 3 kills for Fugly on the round. Really nice job from him holding down Hell. keeping that control of the position throughout that round. So 15-4. It's a good win from CLG, but they've got to win 11 straight, and they can't make a single mistake.
It is going to be enough, though, to put OpTic back onto another lighter round. Just Tech 9s and P250s for most of their players. A little bit of utility coming into the mix, but we've already seen on that second round that they can upset in these situations. So we'll be looking for one once more, and it looks like most of their players...
There's no way it happens twice.
You say that.
I mean...
But then you remember what region you're in.
It is a possibility. It is a slight possibility. Please, CLG, don't do it. Find a way, boys. There it is. Fugly, 1 kill, 2 kill, and now it is no... Okay, well, Stan has one. He's gonna... Ooh, he's actually gonna wrap around. If he got that kill, it would have been huge. JDM almost even walks into a bullet. A little bit scary, but it is just down to NAF. 1-on-3 situation. He falls back. He doesn't have the bomb, but he's at the edge of Ivy. He doesn't really have too many options open to him. Fake flash. Not gonna do anything. Cutler is gonna finish him off with the CZ.
Okay, right. Won't happen there. Was looking like it for, you got nervous there.
For a second. The things we've seen today cannot be unseen. The Zeuses, the failed knives.
Okay, Kona.
And now CLG, 5-15, trying to make this comeback. Daps is on a Tech 9. It's 4 AKs next to it.
To start it off, OpTic just going to be going for, again, probably the default split. They send a couple players over towards Ivy. Nav actually pretty aggressive at just pushing through that smoke that was tossed out there too. Thankfully for him, there isn't really any defense that's been put up by anybody on CLG actively outside of Ivy, so he's free to push that and get early control if he wants to.
Yeah, and this is the thing too, when you have such a big lead, you're willing to take those risks, right? Because the payoff can be so big. There are times that a play like that can just like win you the round, so it's why not go for it, because you still have 10 to play with. That's also an attitude that at times, if those plays never come to fruition, they can really, really punish you.
So now OpTic getting ready to slowly close the trap as they push themselves back in. But Cutler finds the first kill. Rush looking for someone to overexpose themselves, but they're not going to find it yet. And Fugly also stopping the first play that pushes out Ivy. Going to grab the second one too. Nice pop flash toss back over from the bomb train. And Tarek finding a third. OpTic, all of a sudden, things not looking so bright, as a couple of these takes now have just failed utterly.
Yeah, Daps, he had the Tech 9. He didn't have a rifle to start this round, so he picks one up. Finds Tarek, not able to complete the kill, down to 97. He's got 40 seconds to work with. Bombs over towards T-mid. And he's just using his time to see if he's getting flanked out at the moment. There's really not a whole lot he can do here, especially because now that CLG has spotted him in ladder room, they're not giving him any chances. They're playing at range. They're saying you have to commit out into the train yard to take this fight, where we have Cutler and we have Fugly ready to duel you, and there it is. He shoots at Cutler, and Fugly's the one who swings out to get the kill. So 6 rounds now for CLG, and no buy for OpTic in this one.
So OpTic, like we said before, still with a very big cushion to work with, but this is where they run into that little bit of a wall here in the fact that there is not a whole lot of diversity to the strats they bring to the table on their T side, on train. So going to be trying a lot of the same stuff pretty soon, but they still have a couple attempts to just try and throw out some very unorthodox strats, which in this round looks like it's just going to be a 5-man push over towards the B-bomb site and trying to completely overwhelm it. They'll get a plan at the very least here, but the chance of them actually winning the round is very, very slim. And also I think Hayes is going to spot the Shilly because he's gotten aggressive to the back of the B site.
I think they did spot him out, and they force him away. He does have JDM here to cover him at the very least, and there it is. The nade and the peek from JDM does the damage. 2 kills for him. Hayes as well is going to get 1. He's got one right above him. JDM falls. Daps trying to push forward. Only 1 member of CLG dies. That's JDM. 15-7 now. And it could start getting a little bit of an issue because JDM is going to have the AWP. And you mentioned the weaker T side that OpTic has. So this actually could be a struggle for them to close it out even on 15 rounds. But you'd have to think there's got to be at some point a mistake from CLG that OpTic's able to capitalize on.
You say that. Then you look back at the major.
All right. All right.
And Team Liquid.
No reason to bring up the past. No reason to relive those nightmares.
That it's going to happen here. I'm just citing the fact that it has happened before.
Yes. Yes, it has.
15 match points.
All right. Well, Daps, change the subject before I start to cry. Alone towards the inner bomb site, just causing some kind of a distraction down the lower ramp. Not too much, just dropping some flashbangs, smoke. All he's got is a nade left, so he used a lot of his utility for that. It has at least pulled a second player over from CLG. They have 2 members of the inner bomb site. That's going to be Hazed and Cutler. It's the other three. It's Tarek, JDM, and Fugly guarding the outer bomb site. And Tarek is very, very close up towards the ladder room, right behind the smoke. He's gonna, oh, Dap spots him out. Tarek was not ready for him to be on that side of the ladder room, so as that smoke fades, Tarek does fall. That could be the mistake. OpTic's looking. There's some pop flashes. Stan's gonna lead his way out. He doesn't see the member on top of the train, though. And actually, that smoke is not perfect. Fugly is able to peer around it.
Fugly moving up now, just trying to get better position, and he's just going in aggressively to look for these kills. Doesn't realize there's one in the smoke, though, so Mixwell will be able to respond. It's down to a 3v3 at this point, and Mixwell also catching JDM, too, as he gets overwhelmed by that one. So all of a sudden, OpTic is taking full control of this one. Hayes moving out there. He's going to get shut down, and it looks like they're going to be able to fare a little bit better than Liquid at the Major, as it's down to a 3v1. And Cutler, as the last one alive, is taken down to the Ivy Tunnel. Rush will close it out, and OpTic Gaming will have their first map completed.
Just got to keep bringing it back up, though. All right, well, nice match from OpTic. CLG comes out so flat in that first half, and they're not able to make any kind of a comeback. It did look like it was possible because OpTic, those first few gun rounds were not very inspiring, but it was just, you know, you have to not make mistakes, and you have to get so lucky to make a comeback like that. It's just too much. Even against a team that's not the best team in the world that won the Major, very difficult to make that happen. So we will be going to a break now. When we come back, it's going to be the last match of the night, the second map of this doubleheader between CLG and between OpTic Gaming. So stay tuned, and we will be right back.